It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Wednesday, episode 3 of Worst of 2022 edition of the podcast.
Episode 3 of 5. So this week you're getting our look back at our favorite moments of 2022, and then we'll return on Monday with a new show, the first one for us for 2023.
So we've hit a bunch of stuff in this episode that'll be from the summertime.
Ooh, summer.
Yeah, this is like June-esque, July-esque, and we're talking a lot about dads in this episode, it looks like. We're talking about if you were a better griller than your dad.
So that was around Father's Day, maybe, or after?
Most dad thing you've ever done was another one we did. So, yeah, a lot of dad stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Soak that in. You're like, I don't remember any of those conversations, but yes.
No, I do remember because it became really popular to like act like a dad when you weren't a dad.
Yeah.
So like dad jokes, dad clothes, like it became just sort of a trend for a guy to present themselves as like a very young dad, but not being a dad.
Yeah, I have a dad. You guys have seen my dad crew neck.
You do, yeah. Your shirt, yeah.
Now, I think sometimes I come to you and say stuff like this, Isaiah, is we talked about the most dad thing you've ever done, and sometimes I'll come to you and say, I just did the most dad thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of them?
Any of the things that you've said?
Any of the dad things that I do?
I don't know.
Because I have moments probably like once a month where I go, that was too dad of me, and I need to tone down the dadness.
Well, I feel like we also just need to get to learn more about your dad to notice than your dad stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times is when you act like your dad.
Yeah, like those commercials where you're turning into your parents.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. They're too real.
Me and my roommate, too, we love to say, like, things that dads would say, like, back and forth to each other when we're just, like, sitting there at the house talking. Like, one of the ones we always say if we're trying to sound like a dad is, like, if it's raining outside, it's like, oh, man, but we needed it. We needed that rain. We needed it.
That's a perfect example of a dad comment.
Yeah.
Tell me if this sounds dad to you. I was, watching a lot of football, watching the Packers. I said to my wife, I said, that's what they got to do. They got to get back to the bread and butter. That's pretty dad, isn't it?
Start playing some hard-nosed football. Start running the ball.
Yeah.
All the dad things.
They're bread and butter.
Yeah, that's what Andrew and I are like. Yeah, back when I was playing, it was just completely different. Like when we practiced and stuff, it was always just tough. Like guys weren't going down with concussions; those weren't a thing then. Just all that kind of stuff. That back in my day, we were so much tougher. I love those conversations.
Yeah.
See, hopefully we did this well when we were talking about dad stuff in the first place.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we talked about that, and then the other thing we talked about was watching shows with significant others because we talked about, and this came up because my roommate. He ended up finishing a show without me that we had been watching together. And so then you guys talked about your experiences watching shows with your significant others.
Yeah, it can be crushing.
It was crushing.
They watch ahead.
And update, I never finished that show.
Oh, what was the show?
He watched the final episode without me.
Oh, wait.
It was the final episode of Temptation Island.
Oh, that's right.
We had watched the whole thing together.
You never finished?
He watched, and this was back in June. We're now in December.
How could you not watch
and
it?
so it was the finale. Like I had watched every single one up to it with him.
But you know who won.
I don't. I honestly do not know what happened. I swear I don't know what happened because once he watched it without me, then I was just uninterested.
Now, I will say sometimes that's actually how you watch shows. They say it's the best way. You never watch the season finale of something because the season finale will just always be a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So you save the last episode and then you watch it right before the return of the next season. But for reality shows, I don't think that's quite the case. But if it's a scripted show, that's actually the best way to watch it.
I don't know if I have that much restraint.
Or time.
But I also don't know if I was to do that, it'd be by accident.
Yeah.
Because I just forgot about the show. But that's all I have to say about that.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. A reminder, we'll have 2 more episodes of our Worst of Riot 2022 coming tomorrow and on Friday.
All right. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
See you guys.
While Isaiah is wishing for a girlfriend, Nikki and Hudson are just wishing for any friend at all. The Riot. RadioU.
Consider grilling a sport.
Grilling?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It could be, right? You're
I assume
outdoors.
there's competitions with grilling.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely competition with grilling, and they are a lot of fun to attend as a judge. not as a competitor. How would you guys rate your grilling skills?
Do you do that, Isaiah?
I would say my grilling skills are pretty average.
Pretty average?
Yeah, pretty average. I wouldn't say like I'm a great griller, but I can utilize a grill.
You understand it?
Yes, I understand it.
What about you, Nick? You ever get out there, toss a few steaks or sausages?
But I feel like that's Eric's territory because he has like a Blackstone and a Pit Boss. So like he really enjoys grilling.
He doesn't allow you to grill?
And smoking? No, I just...
It's his thing, you know? It's his thing.
You don't want to intrude on his territory?
And quite frankly, I don't feel like I need to since he does fine.
Yeah, there you go. If you can get somebody else that'll do the grilling for you,
that's better.
That's not such a bad idea. Well, I have a new survey here that asks a bunch of questions about grilling. It happens to be conducted on behalf of Tabasco, who maybe this is related, maybe not, just put out some new barbecue sauces, one of which I have in the break room right now. And this is not an advertisement for Tabasco. They didn't pay me to say this, but it is a great barbecue sauce.
No.
Oh, it is.
Tabasco's awful.
Yeah, I don't like Tabasco either.
You guys are crazy. You got to try the barbecue sauce.
Okay, 2 in the room
totally
don't
different.
like it. 1 does. What do you think then?
No, I think I don't have an answer. Like
you know, if it's free at every table you go to at a restaurant, then it's not good.
Yeah, tell that to ketchup.
Yeah, exactly.
Ketchup's different. We all acknowledge that.
It's like water.
But you're also not supposed to use ketchup too much if you grill. Like if
you know
really
what?
Grill.
I don't see people doing with ketchup. Maybe they do, but they definitely do with Tabasco at Chipotle. Is steal entire bottles from a restaurant.
That's because Chipotle charges so much now. You might as well take what you can.
You got to get your money's worth.
I would take the chairs if I could.
Well, okay, so your obviously incorrect feelings about Tabasco aside, the survey found that about 8 in 10 millennials, so like our age, they think, well, not Isaiah's age, they think that they are better grillers than their parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You guys think you could out-grill your ma and pa?
Is that what you call your mom and dad?
Sometimes.
Your ma and pa. I would lean no.
No?
I think my dad's a pretty good griller.
Did he teach you everything he knows?
To be honest, I kind of just figured it out. I would say he handled a lot more of his cooking skills to my younger brother. He's a much better cook than I am.
Yeah.
They get really into
jealous?
not so much. It's their thing. But he does a pretty good job of they love cooking stuff, like grilled chicken, all kinds of stuff. They like smoke meat and whatnot. So that's like their thing to do. My dad's always made like fantastic steaks on the grill. That's like the thing that I remember the most. But he's pretty good on the grill. I mean, he has like approximately 40 years on me, so he's had a lot more practice.
So do you think like grilling, because sometimes certain things that parents do, like no one does anymore. So is grilling a thing or...
Grilling, what, a thing of the past?
Well, is it done as much for as young as we get, or is it really just depending on if you grew up with it?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it more... I think grilling is still...
I think it depends on like what kind of lifestyle you live. Like if what you're doing on the weekends a lot of time, like if grilling's something that you prioritize and like having cookouts and stuff like that, then or you're having people over, you probably grill all the time.
Right.
But if it's just you and your family, probably not as much.
Yeah, I think as... It might not be a grilling is a thing of the past. It's just...
it's different now.
You have to grow into it. So maybe we're just not quite the right age yet where we need to be a little more adult, a little more like our parents before we really get into grilling.
Or we're just lazy and use the air fryer.
could be.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
But I think grilling in a way is kind of lazy too. Don't you think?
I think there's more effort
I think there's much more effort there than a microwave.
There's no cleaning involved when you grill. You just throw stuff on the thing and then you kind of use that brush.
Dude, do you know how long you can not clean your air fryer? You can go a long time.
Yeah, I can tell you a
for
couple months. I'll tell you that for a fact.
That's what makes the grill so beautiful too. You don't actually have to clean it.
So you think it's less work to grill than air fry or microwave? You're saying that's your argument?
I think it's comparable to air frying. Obviously, more work than microwaving, but also a million times better. But when you're cooking stuff in the oven or on the fry or like on the stove, air fry. I mean, the grill is definitely easier.
Yeah, but I don't want to go outside.
Why not? It's beautiful. It's the summertime.
Oh, that's the worst.
I don't like your attitude.
It's hot out there.
I don't like your attitude. It's sun's shining, birds are chirping. There's the pool right beside you.
Can I grill from my inflatable pool outside?
Oh, of course.
Oh, that's the best way too.
I don't want to otherwise.
I don't think you should grill from there. You should have somebody else do it for you while you're in the pool. Have them bring it to you. That's best case scenario for me.
I think it really is true, though. We're just lazier.
Yeah,
yes,
we are lazy, but that's why the grill doesn't bother me so much. I love not having to clean up. I have to admit it.
Hudson, the grill master,
turn
baby.
the heat up all the way, close the lid, and you're good to go for a while.
And then you're better than your dad.
Let it all burn off.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
The lottery?
Yeah. Isaiah, what would you do?
I'd quit my job here.
I know, bye, right?
Would you
See you
shut
guys
up?
later.
Shut up.
Hey,
Find me on the couch.
Honestly, we wouldn't feel mad at you if you did that, but keep in touch and we'll see you later.
I would be mad at you.
You be mad at me?
Yeah.
What if I just tossed you a couple bucks and I was like, all right, here you go.
Is it enough for me to quit also?
I was thinking like a 20 piece. $20.
Oh, no, I was at least thinking a few thousand.
Yeah.
Well, if I give everybody a few thousand, then it dwindles so quickly.
Yeah, but if you quit, then that's more work for me. So I feel like you should.
He doesn't seem sorry about
Did you see
that.
my face? Did you see my face? It was unbothered.
Did you hear he won the lottery?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I was going to ask. So I have a survey here from Play, Pennsylvania. I guess that's where.
That sounds like a lottery.
They run the lottery in Pennsylvania. And one of the questions was, would you keep your winnings a secret if you won the lottery? 83% said they would. They would not tell anyone if they won the lottery. And so I was going to say, how would we even know if one of us won the lottery if we were keeping it a secret? But if we're all here.
On social media, you'd start seeing these vacations.
Yes. My incredible lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a dead giveaway, but I guess it'd be too late. Isaiah would already be gone, and I wouldn't be able to hang on to him for.
I'd be getting so many texts. I'd be ghosting Hudson so heavy. Hey, man, I just didn't know exactly how you were doing all these crazy vacations.
What do you do? Can we meet up for coffee?
Yeah, maybe we should network a little bit, catch up.
I just want to go over an idea I had.
It is crazy because they say people they would keep they would not even tell their friends and family. Like, it's not even that you would keep it a secret from just generally, but you would keep it a secret from the people closest to you.
You have to, I think, because I think money brings out the absolute worst in people. And we have read lottery story after lottery story of then they come out of the woodwork, family, and they'll take advantage and try to get your money that you won, or they'll fight you for it. They'll do all this stuff, and you just can't be in peace with your millions of dollars.
Well, how do you keep it a secret, though?
You just don't change your life, probably. You just put it in the bank.
What's the point of winning the lottery?
Well, listen.
You don't have to work anymore. I mean, there's certain things you can change.
Well, people are going to notice if you just quit your job.
No, you could just say something happened and you're just not able to work right now.
And you can't just avoid everybody in the whole that
you've
ever met. So what? You don't know. Then you don't have any friends anymore.
Yeah. Welcome to the world of being probably a millionaire.
Because guess what? If you have friends, everybody wants your money.
Yeah.
Who are even your friends anymore?
So
you don't even know.
Is it really worth it?
Well, I mean, I think we're willing to try.
I'd love to give it a shot if I can.
You want to fight through that. I think it's very hard because people who win such a large amount of money so fast, they have a hard enough time just not going through it themselves.
Yeah.
And then you have everybody, including like your close family who you thought loved you. But really, you found out they want the money.
Yeah, they didn't love you that much before you had the money.
Tell you what, you can tell us if you ever win, but we're not going to tell you.
Oh, I'm keeping it a secret from you guys. I see your attitudes. I see how you would treat me. I do like also in the survey they found that so if somebody won the lottery, on average they would give their partner, their significant other, if they won $1 million, they would give them $283,000.
That's it.
Not even half. Barely a quarter.
That's it.
A quarter of their winnings. But they, of course, would expect their partner, their significant other, to give them more if their significant other won $1 million.
There's also some controversy if you win the lottery about like your coworkers. So here where we come in, guys. They say if a winning ticket was for at least $1 million, more people would expect to get a part of that money from like if you were a coworker. 58% think they would get something. From their own family would be 38%. Some they talked about, would you split the winnings with someone else who was just like a friend? And 49% think that their lucky coworker, if they won the lottery, would forget to share some of the money with them.
Come on. So what? 58% of people said they expect?
They expect if a coworker won it, that they would expect some sort of money from them.
Yeah. See, that's what I expect. I expect if you're quitting and you're going to put a burden on me of trying to fill your shoes, which admittedly isn't doing much, but still, you'd have to compensate me in some way.
That's big expectations. If you guys hit the lottery, I do not expect $1. There's no chance. No way.
Well, I don't know. If it was near Christmas, I feel like,
Yeah.
if you could get out of there without everybody really taking over and trying to take all your money, I think you could be generous with like your close coworkers.
So what, you just
show co-hosts?
Yeah.
you just give like your coworkers that you're close with, like if it was us three, I would give you guys a few bucks just to as a closing the door of saying, don't come after me.
As a gift
this
card.
is to keep you quiet.
Yep, and I'd be fine with that. We never bother you again.
I think that's a good agreement. All right, if we ever win the lottery,
This
that's
will
what
be
we're
it.
doing.
So top 5 things to do after winning the lottery people want to do: travel the world, pay off debt, become an artist, write a book, and play video games full time.
Wow, that sounds pretty nice.
It doesn't matter how much money you have. Doesn't mean you're good enough to play full time, right?
Well, I'd like to try, and I'd put on the beach after everything.
I guess it wouldn't matter too much if you failed. You'd still have your millions and millions of dollars to fall back on.
It's okay.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
All right, let's take a trip out to the country. Let's take a trip out to Huntington, Pennsylvania. Are you familiar?
No, and I don't want to go too far.
Oh, we're going far.
Not too far out in the
We're
country.
going to Huntington, Pennsylvania, which for some people, as a frame of reference, that is very near where they hold Creation Festival every year.
Sure.
And they hold Creation Festival there in part because it's in the middle of nowhere, so you can have a lot of loud music and people camping and who knows what else.
Is that like?
And it doesn't bother anybody.
Is that
because nobody's
close
around.
to? Is that like Amish country there?
No, not really. It's in the mountains. It's kind of in the mountains, kind of in the hill country of Pennsylvania. And on I love this, the 3200 block of Spruce Creek Road, the police say. They're still measuring it in city blocks.
That sounds like country
out
right
in the middle
there.
of nowhere. Spruce Creek Road, we had a vehicle crash that involved a person being trapped.
Oh, no.
The vehicle that crashed, manure truck.
A what?
We had a manure
Is that a
truck.
Ford? No. What
you
is
know
that?
what? I do not know the brand. All I know is what it was hauling.
It
was hauling manure.
So why? Okay, now I just city girl here. Okay,
yeah.
So maybe someone can explain why are they moving manure?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Do you sell it?
Well,
does it go somewhere else? Is it how you dispose of it?
Well, you know where manure comes from, right?
Cows, yeah. Well, I mean, not just.
Yes, but oftentimes cows. So what? You think
when
the
a
cows
daddy cow feels sick to his tummy.
You think the cows are just out there in the cornfields, like, all right, we need some here, and we need some here. You know?
Well, okay, I thought they would have some sort of organization.
Yeah, they do. They collect it all up, and then they put it into a truck, and then the truck maybe spreads it out, perhaps, depending on the machinery. That actually I'm not sure of. Or they need to get it from this farm where they've collected it to. So, I mean, they've got big fields. You know, it's the country.
I know. I want to know who's buying it or where does it go?
Oh, it goes in the field.
Well, why would they move it on a road to another field?
Oh, this doesn't look like a road to me.
Oh, so it was just on their property?
I mean, I know that the address might be, again, in the 3200 block of Spruce Creek Road. But look at the pictures. I mean, it's all
Spruce
over.
Creek?
It's all out in the field.
I guess.
This is just, and look at the tires on this thing. Look at this truck. This wasn't just a pickup truck with some manure in the back.
No, it looks like an army vehicle.
Yeah, this is serious business here.
Is that corn as well? That's just sprouting up?
I think that could be corn that's sprouting
corn?
up. It could
Okay.
be. It could be. It's hard to tell when it's that.
Do you think
I mean, for me as a non-farmer, only knowing some rudimentary basics, it could be a lot of different things.
Do you think he got any on him?
Do I think he got any on him?
I can't tell by the stuff.
I think. Well, first of all, I think it's probably likely he had some on him before he even got in the truck and started driving.
And he's okay.
But based off of, you know what? He is fine. Yes. To answer your question, he is. They were able to get the truck and then eventually the manure off of him so that he was able to be set free. But that sounds like, does that not sound? You're trapped. And you're not just trapped. You're trapped under a manure truck.
Well, you know how every morning you're supposed to be thankful and like try to think of some things, even if you're having a tough day and it's real early and you already are having a tough day.
Yep.
Let's be thankful that our day did not include some sort of car accident.
Yep.
Truck accident. You didn't have to move manure. And you weren't.
Manure not part of your job whatsoever.
You weren't around it. You weren't smelling it. You weren't in a car accident with it. It's not so bad today.
There could. Once you start involving manure, things can get a lot worse in a lot of different ways.
Suddenly, your drive-through trip to get your coffee and go to the office is not actually as bad.
Not so bad after all.
Though you feel like it's manure.
Yeah, right. Sometimes that might be a way you want to describe your day.
Yeah,
but at least it doesn't actually, for many of us, come into contact with anything we actually do.
Well, glad he's okay. Non-life-threatening, but very emotionally scarring injuries.
I wonder if he could ever touch manure again.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Isaiah raised a question.
Were you going to say an important question?
It was an important question. It was some bonus content. It just came out of the blue, right? There was not related to anything.
Well, one of the stories yesterday had something to do with like the bathroom.
And it triggered it.
And so in my mind, and then it went there. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you ask it again?
So I asked Hudson, and I also proposed this to Nikki as well.
We're an equal show.
Yes. When was the last time you used the restroom outside?
And to me, that meant like, a building outside your house.
Yeah, Nikki was like a porta john, or what were we talking about?
I mean, like, you were at a restaurant. That's outside your house.
Outdoors.
I meant
of doors.
Like eat in the grass, kind of
on a tree.
Outside. Yeah, way outside.
Okay, I didn't have a good answer yesterday.
You didn't even give me an answer.
Yeah, I hadn't kept track of it that closely where I just have an instant recall, or it wasn't that recent, but it was definitely within the last year.
Within the last year?
Within the last year.
What?
Camping.
Are you shocked or?
Yes, I'm shocked.
Why? Why would it happen so often?
Because I use the restroom outside nearly every single day.
No,
what do you mean?
do not.
Like outside my house. Yes,
No.
I do.
Why?
Because it's so much easier.
No, it's
so
not.
much. It is. It is so much easier.
How is it easier?
Because you don't have to aim.
What?
You don't have to aim.
I don't want to learn these things. I do not want to know these things.
Being outside is one of like the great things about being a man.
Is it freeing?
It is. It's incredible. It's one of the great things about being a man. And Hudson, you're not even taking advantage of it.
No, but
I think you're taking too much advantage.
Like your
of
backyard, I don't understand.
no, maybe from time to time, but I think that's
be
pretty
around
rare.
your house.
But sometimes one of the most fun things is aiming, wouldn't you say?
Oh, stop.
Well,
I
it
don't
depends.
want to know. No.
Nikki's like, this is not the segment we're supposed to go when we planned it out.
I'm not learning about this. So wait, going back, you think it was when you were camping?
Yeah, I think when I was
that's
camping.
excusable.
Yeah.
But what if I told you that it was?
Oh, don't tell me it was when you outdoor backyard camping.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was. There was a purpose behind it.
Was that your house?
Well, we had a fire.
No! I've never done that. Now I have a line.
It's fun.
I have a line that I don't cross. You crossed it.
You go to the bathroom in your backyard every day.
Yes.
But you would never do it on a fire.
See, I'll even go front yard. I let Jim outside. He's using the restroom. It's a fatherly son bonding thing.
There is no difference between you and your dog at this point.
I will say there actually has been times. I don't know if anybody else has done this. When Jim was a puppy,
I'm gonna say no right away.
When Jim was a puppy, I was trying to train him to be potty trained outside.
Is that how you taught him?
I was like, look at Daddy, you know? Look at Daddy. I don't know if it worked. Took him about a year to get potty trained.
He's potty trained now.
But in the long run...
Actually, that's probably a traumatic experice. You'd set him back at least 6 months.
He was like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, boss, if you're listening, how can I do this each day? How can I do this? There's a whole
It's easy. You just go out, open the back door.
Yes.
No, not that. Learning about this. All right. Well, thank you for sharing, Hudson.
That's a
and
good
Isaiah,
question.
thank you for asking that question.
Yeah.
Of course, I was wondering. I want to check in with Hudson, make sure that he was still staying up with his manly duties.
Okay.
Not really, but it's okay.
I'm taking advantage of it when I can.
Anyone else? Is this just like a normal thing?
This is a normal thing. This has to be. You can text in. I'm sure they'll agree.
I don't know. I just worry. The reason I don't do it more is the neighbors. I don't want to get caught.
Yeah, I'm
that's
pretty
good.
close to my neighbors. There's a certain level of trust there.
Oh, all right. Well, I feel tired now.
Your For You page would be a lot more fun if it had Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah. Follow at RadioU Official on TikTok. The Riot. Radio U.
All right, so I got a question for you guys. This has happened to everybody, right? You loan a friend some money, you pay for their Chipotle or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, I'll get you later," and they never do, and they never do. How
and too much time passes.
Yeah, then and maybe you really want that money back. How do you go about that?
Well, Isaiah, I feel like you have more friends. So I just assume that it naturally happens to you more. Or do you borrow the money?
I'm not much of a borrower. I would say I'm more of a lender than borrower to my friends. And the only way that I'll get money back is if I do a Venmo request.
Yeah.
I have to request and then I have to remind. But my roommates had like an issue one time because we had done like a bachelor party for my friend's wedding. And everybody liked to pay for like the Airbnb and everything that went into it. Like it was like $210 a person, right? And one of the people just never paid him.
Stiffed him.
And that's a large amount.
A large amount. And it wasn't like he was like one of our close friends. He was like closer with like the groom at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then he just never paid him.
To this day?
To this day.
Oh,
And
It's like a year.
We're coming up on a year now, yes.
That's why you double up on the requests then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he had to soak that one, unfortunately. But for me, I think right now the only people that owe me money are my younger brother and my roommate. Which
You
is
give
pretty,
them more time?
I give them a little bit of extra time. I just hit the remind button on the Venmo request over and over again until they pay it off.
They don't owe
That's a
you
good plan.
$210, do you?
No, not that much.
Do they?
Actually, what you do is you get one of your other friends and be like, listen, I'll forgive all your debt if you get me the other money from this
Yes.
person. Bring me the $210.
I think definitely for the 210, it's been long enough. That's just a straight up L, right?
That's
You're
just
not
straight
getting-
up out. You're not
yeah.
getting that.
How long do you what is it, like a bar graph or whatever, the one that looks like a mountain or like a curve? How long do you wait for, depending on which amount of money?
Oh,
You
to
know what
ask
I mean?
them again?
Well, yeah, or I guess at what point for each dollar amount are you like, I guess I'm just taking an L on that? Like if it's $1,000, how long? 5 years?
Well, it depends, because I think you're more sad because that affects if you're a close enough person with
Yeah.
them. That affects your friendship, which is why they say you should never lend money to your friends. You're either just give that to them or you just don't do anything at all.
That's a good point. You gotta, if you're giving money to somebody, you gotta be you should never give more than you're comfortable never getting back.
Exactly.
Probably.
That's good.
Yeah, I feel like too, like if it's depending on the amount of money, like if it's like $10, if I paid for your food or something and we all went out together and it was just easier for like one order and I'm like, just Venmo me, it's no big deal as we're going through the drive-thru. If it's like $10, I'm giving you like a week, and then if you don't pay me back, I'm going to remind you, and then if it goes on to a week and a half, if it goes on to a week and a half, I just know it. I'm not getting it.
Let me put the reminder down for everybody. Don't ask Isaiah for money.
Yeah,
okay,
there you
good. Let's see, Julius. Well, I'm just teasing.
I'm saying we should all we all happen to forget our wallets,
And we need his help.
and then all we have to do is avoid Isaiah for a week, and we're good to go.
There you go.
Well, Julia texted in, so don't lend money if you're worried about getting it back. So just like you were saying too, if you borrow, pay it back in some way. It's all about personal responsibility. Julia, you haven't met all of our friends.
Yeah, right.
Personal responsibility is not always the strong point everybody has, but you hope it was.
Yeah. I don't know. I was wondering about this, but I don't lend people money very often.
Sure.
I'm pretty cheap.
Well, then that works for your advantage, doesn't it?
It does. I'll never have to worry about Isaiah paying me back.
Yeah, well, it's hard because I think I lended. The only time I had problems was a past worker here at RadioU, and that's always super awkward because
awkward.
You'll see them spending money, and you're like, wait a minute.
That's the worst, isn't it?
Just got this new shirt. You're like, that's so weird that you have all this money all of a sudden.
Would you say that shirt costs over or under $25 that you owe me?
Which is what you owe me, and you've owed me for a while.
I don't know if we came up with any real solutions here.
I don't think so. But if you guys have a nicer, more creative approach, or if you're like Julia, just don't be willing to lend money if you don't expect it, maybe to not come back.
I would love to hear a success story. Somebody who went 3 years without getting paid back the $500 and then finally
got it.
Finally found the solution.
Hey, they're already eating anyways. Might as well do it on the show. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
Yesterday, Isaiah, as he is wont to do, in our podcast bonus content, the intro that we record after we actually do the show every morning, he posed a question.
Yeah.
It came up with a great question. It's a good question, but you just got to save it because
for the show?
Nobody can answer. I mean, Nikki and I can, and I guess we're the really important ones, but the people can't answer.
Well, when you're introducing
when we're recording the podcast
on
intro.
the podcast, they can still let us know. By the way, please subscribe to our RadioU Riot podcast. We've also got a video version as well, but you got to save the good questions for this time in the morning.
Yeah, I just feel like I have unlimited good questions. So when I come up with one, I'll come up with another.
Well,
it's okay.
just throw it out there. We can always save it for next time.
I can't wait till today's podcast intro when you come up with another one.
I'm sure I'll have another one.
That would have been really pertinent to today's show.
Exactly, and I'll wait for the podcast intro so that you guys can get all that great bonus content. But yesterday during the podcast intro, I asked, what's your favorite pizza chain of all time?
And then we neglected to answer because we wanted to save it for now.
Well, we were talking about how, in almost every, especially a little town that you have, there's just so many mom and pop ones that you tend to have less of the main chain ones there. But then if you get to where we are, it's mostly chains or the modern take on the pizza place, but we don't get as many smaller mom and pop ones. So it kind of depends on which style you prefer, who you want to support.
Yeah, I think
big pizza.
Yeah,
big pizza.
The mom and pop ones are definitely the best, but it's just you, especially now, you really have to pay for those mom and pop when you just Domino's and Pizza Hut and Papa John's. I mean, it's not that they're super cheap for fast food, but at least they're convenient and they are pretty cheap compared to what you get at a mom and pop place. But that doesn't mean those mom and pop places aren't a lot better. That's
true. We were talking because Little Caesars yesterday announced that they are the official pizza now of the NFL, and we weren't sure about that combination. All right, who wants to go first? Who's your favorite?
Mine's Donato's.
Donato's
is a longtime favorite of mine.
That's a
by
good
far,
choice.
not even close.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's just so much better. So if I'm gonna do a pizza from a chain and I don't feel bad about spending a little bit more money, then I'll do Donato's every time.
That's the type when you hope that you're back at your parents' place. You're like, hey, you guys want to order pizza?
What do you think about Donato's for tonight?
Do you want to order extra so I can take it home?
Yeah, exactly.
That is a good choice.
That's good.
I have how many states does it have to be in to count as a chain?
I think you're fine.
Because mine is Lido's Pizza.
I have not heard of that.
It is definitely a chain. It extends. It's in every state except Georgia. If you go from Pennsylvania down to Florida, it's there. And Lido's Pizza, that was what we would always
LEDOS?
Yes.
You say every state besides Georgia if you go down the East Coast. So 4 states, essentially.
If you drove from Pennsylvania to Florida, You could find Alitos in every state along the way.
So which is how many
Georgia.
states?
One.
And it doesn't mean there's many in each state.
Yeah, there's like one in each.
See, it's in 7 states in the District of Columbia.
7 states. Got it.
That's definitely a chain, right?
Yeah. I think that counts as a chain. Then, yeah.
So I guess it's like somebody. It's not as synonymous, but it's like somebody in Arizona saying In-N-Out Burger is their favorite burger place.
I know, but
the burger chain.
I think they have more. But I'm just looking at it. You're right. It is just a few states down the East Coast.
But hopefully it will expand out. It's a thin crust, but it's not like the crispy. It's not too crispy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like eating a cracker. That's not what Litos is like. Oh, it's good.
Hey, there's franchising info. It sounds like you need to get on that.
Yeah,
There
sign
you
me
go.
up, baby.
You want to order a pizza place?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, I think I like Jets, but that's also way too
Oh,
expensive.
that's a good one.
And so if I don't want to go as expensive, then I like Romeo's. They're Tuscany pizza.
Romeo's.
With the pepperoni. So that's the pepperoni. So that's the
Pepperonio.
probably the two that I like the most. Ooh, just imagine if we had nice warm pizza right now. Just
man.
delicious
For breakfast.
warm pizza just here in the studio. That'd be wonderful.
Oh man, I could go for that right now. I'm trying to see how many states Donato's is in, because what if it's no more than Litos?
Well,
It might not be.
It might not be.
Yeah, but they were bought by someone, right?
Donato's? I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
They're owned by a bigger one.
I'm looking right now, like the 10, like the 10 most popular, and they have obviously Domino's number 1. Number 2 is Pizza Hut. Number 3, Little Caesars. Number 4, Marco's. 5, Papa John's.
Marco's is kind of good.
Number 6, Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it's the
shut up.
Pasquale's Pizza. That's what they call it, Pasquale's.
Yeah, so
Because
like
they tried to sell that stuff on DoorDash.
we have Papa Murphy's, California Pizza Kitchen, Sbarro, and then CC's rounding out the top 10 of most profitable across the country.
Yeah,
And they
most of
used to
those
have a
don't
mac
sound
and
very
cheese
good.
pizza at CC's.
Oh man,
I love that thing. But then
I
they all
love CC's.
They all closed down around
Yeah,
us.
what happened to CC's?
Well, they went no.
They were a buffet. They were like a
Bye-bye.
buffet style pizza place. So I think the whole COVID thing really hurt them.
They
Well,
were too good to be true.
If you want to tack on anything, please let us know the best pizza. Man, it sounds so good just to talk food this morning. So you're welcome to text 877 Radio U and pick any place, even if it just has a few locations like Hudson's.
It is.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
If you'll excuse me, Nikki, I do need to do this.
Are you standing up?
I do. I need to stand up.
Okay, first, it's really weird when you stand up in the
Look-
studio.
Yeah, and I'm not on the. Can I adjust the camera?
You're going to touch the camera?
gonna stay up. I'm gonna stay up here standing,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why.
Is there something you want to say? Or
I have an announcement to make.
announcement? Oh, no.
No, it's because I don't want to die.
Oh, are we not supposed to sit as much?
Yeah, I've got a new study here from Simon Fraser University in British Columbia, Canada. They did this in collaboration with Beijing's Chinese Academy of Medical Sciences. They surveyed over 100,000 people over 11 years, and they found that people who sit for 6 to 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
that's us,
That is us.
because we do it for work. They experienced an increased health risk, an increased risk of early death by 12 to 13%.
See, we track, like I use my Apple Watch. It can track how many steps you do or like hours sitting, hours standing, that sort of thing. And I'm always so jealous because it became very popular during COVID time for people to get the walking treadmill desks.
Oh, yeah.
And they would clock in like 30,000 steps.
Oh, my gosh.
And here I'm like, I can't even get 5,000. Like, you
Yeah.
can't even get anything because we just sit so much.
Yep.
But we also can't do standing desks here.
Why not?
Well, I think with our equipment, we would have to stand or sit. You can't go up and down like they suggest.
Right. That would make it difficult. And with the cameras.
Well,
So,
that's why you'd have to set them one way or the other.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you have a standing desk, that's the nice part. You can go up and you can go down. You can change the height level
if
if
you
you'd
just
like.
get tired of standing. Even now, I'm standing, but look at me. I'm leaning.
Are you stand up?
And if I can lean, I can clean. So then I should not be doing this either.
And what's also not fair is if you're using a community desk, like we're not all the same height.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
you could not have it be set for just one setting because for shorter people or taller people, it'll be a different stand.
So in other words, we're just going to die early then.
Yeah, we're still sitting down.
Here's the good news. We're not sitting over 8 hours a day, are we?
I don't think so.
Because if you sit over 8 hours a day, you had a 20% higher risk of dying early.
Yeah, but it's so much nicer to sit down, guys.
They did, and I don't think I see anything about laying down. What about that? What about that? That's an option,
Problem?
right?
Hang on. No, just teasing. Problem solved.
I don't know if I like this.
The standing?
The standing up. I don't know if I can stick with this. I mean, I don't want to die, but I also don't like doing the standing up.
You seem uncomfortable.
Yeah. Before I was on the morning show, I would sit down, except when I had to talk, because does my voice sound better?
You do. Actually, it is true.
It opens up the diaphragm,
if you
right?
stand up.
So, it'd be better for everybody except my own self, except for each of us in our day-to-day, if we all just stood up while we worked. But I don't think we're going to start doing that.
Well,
as much as I don't want to die.
Why don't you throw it to Chris, our engineer for the studio, to see what thoughts he has on our newly redesigned studio on what we could do if we want to stand more.
Do you think they could? You could build a thing almost like the dollies.
Yeah.
The dolly where like you had stacks of oven and you could wheel it around. But it's a dolly and it just holds me up, so I can still stand. But it's like a recumbent standing.
Nothing sounds lazier than that.
But I don't want to die, is all.
And actually, the other idea is just stand when we're not talking. Stand during the music.
That sounds even worse for some reason.
That actually makes the other person feel kind of anxious if you're just pacing around.
Yeah,
the room.
it would be a way for me to establish my authority over you.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it'd be a real power move.
It would be.
In fact, I feel more authoritative already.
You stand, you just lean over the table. You're just like, hey, I'm in charge.
All right, Nikki, now clean up these donuts.
What?
Clean up the donuts. I'm being authoritative. I'm the standing
You want me to push them closer to you?
Hudson and Isaiah seem like they know a lot about sports, yet somehow it's Nikki that always gets it right. The Riot, Radio U.
All right, summertime is here. We've all got vacations we're working on. Nikki, you planned yours. You're going to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Say it out loud, guys. It sounds cool.
Going to Myrtle.
Go to Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. Are you? You're not doing any Airbnbs, are you?
I've never done an Airbnb.
Not at all.
No,
huh?
I mean I've heard some horror stories. And every time I looked for one, like if I was going to travel to a different area, I was just like, don't know.
I've looked into Airbnbs. I've never personally done one, although that might change on my vacation this summer. But the people that I know firsthand, really, my parents firsthand have done Airbnbs nearby, and they have had a great experience with it.
See, I only see them on TikTok, and if you make it on TikTok with an Airbnb story, it's not a good one.
It's not, it was so clean, and the owner left us alone and everything. What about you, Isaiah? You've got any Airbnbs booked? You got way more trips than the rest of us.
I actually lived in an Airbnb for a month.
No way.
Yeah, I lived in an Airbnb for a month. I've done a handful of Airbnbs over the course of my years, and every time it's always been a great experience for me. A lot of times it's been like with my friends, like there'd be like 6 to 8 of us that like rent out a house. Yeah, and
you're
then
not supposed to have friends at the Airbnb.
Yeah,
it's one of the top things I'm learning.
Well, it just depends like how many people you book. Like the ones that we've stayed at have had like 4 or 5 bedrooms where you rent it out and then split it between the 10 or 8 or 6 people that are there, and it's always a pretty good time. But I'm also one of those people that like when I go to an Airbnb, I like laid down ground rules with the people that I'm staying with right away. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to destroy things. We're not going to make it a total mess because I don't want to have to pay whatever the fee would be at the end if we have to do that.
I love that you're hanging out with people where you have to lay out. All right, no, everybody, don't destroy anything.
Don't break anything.
Yeah. Well, I have a list here of some Airbnb horror stories just in case anybody is, planning a summer vacation and you want us to ruin it for you by telling you what could go wrong when you get to your Airbnb. I like this one. Somebody said that the owner told them one of the rules, you had to wear shoe covers to protect the hardwood floors at all times.
Oh, could you go barefoot then, or?
That's a good question.
Or would you still need to protect the hardwood floors from your feet itself?
Must be incredible wood.
Yeah, right.
I mean, some incredible
Pure
floors in
mahogany.
there.
Some of the, critiques of people who, have a lot of rules for Airbnb makes it feel like you've just moved back in with your parents.
Yeah,
or something,
that's what some people are saying.
So many rules.
It is, and some of the people are kind of over the top too, where obviously they can have cameras set up for nefarious purposes, or cameras set up where they're just monitoring you to see if you're following the rules. And there's a lot of bad stories about that. I also like this one. This is something you would not get at a hotel. My aunt booked a $5,000 Airbnb in Malibu. When they arrived, it had signs of somebody being there, but they just figured, probably wasn't, fully cleaned. And so they went out to get groceries. When they came back, there was a lady in there breastfeeding her son, and she thought they were robbing. They were getting robbed.
Oh, no.
She was getting robbed.
No.
That is insane.
Oh, gosh.
That is not great. Now, I mean, everybody involved had to be upset about that one. And this is my favorite one. My friends rented an Airbnb, and the owner kept telling us about a stolen TV remote that cost $900. There's no TV remote
that costs so much.
When our trip was over, we found it under the couch and told them, and the owner said, "You people booked us before and are trying to bring it back."
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Crazy? What a insane strategy.
I feel like just some renters or people who host Airbnbs, like they're just way too into it.
Yeah. Although I will say all of these traumatic and strange in their own way, but you could none of those are as bad as things that I know that have happened at hotels.
I know. Sometimes I just feel like you would have a better chance with more people at a hotel of having a less crazy situation. But you can also have bad experiences at hotels for sure.
The floor of a hotel, as in like how bad it can be, it's pretty bad.
Like dirty?
Yeah, dirty, scary.
Sure.
Some hotels, this is the difference between a hotel and Airbnb. In fact, most seem to just not care about you once you go and you have your room and they don't care. And in many ways, that's a positive. And in a few ways, that can be a negative, depending on where you go.
If you have an issue.
Yeah. The Airbnb, hey, can you blame them for caring too much?
It's nice because you're at least by yourself. Because one time when we were in D.C., we checked in and we literally moved into our room. Just there for a few seconds. And then you get a knock on the door, and it was the management saying that the guy next to our room was freaking out because we were being too loud.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
And so then they moved us because the guy was losing it. Like he had an issue. And so when we all were leaving, he's outside of his door yelling at everybody. And I was just like, I think we're just going to go.
I think we'll just go down the road.
We'll go someplace
See
else.
if you can hear us at this hotel over here.
It was way weird. I was like, wow, you're not all right, but that's okay.
Is that the worst hotel experience you've had, or the one in Tampa with the cockroaches?
Oh, the cockroaches, and
the
you had
palmetto bugs, of course.
You had to go ask for your own bed sheets.
Or do you have a worse one?
No, I think that's
your worst.
Those were some of the worst ones.
You have a worst story, Isaiah?
There was one that we stayed in. It was like a last-minute trip. There was like a punch hole through the door. It was like the bathroom door. Sorry, the sink was broken. My friend who booked it didn't make it a cigarette-free room, so it smelled like smoke. We smelled like smoke. That was a great trip. Needless to say.
I don't think I can top either of those.
Well,
I wish
you have vacations coming, so maybe one day.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than hell. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
Father's Day was yesterday. Did you guys celebrate?
We did.
Yeah, did you have a good time?
Grand time.
More importantly, did your dads have a good time?
I think so. And did everybody have a grilling thing or a smoking thing? Or?
Wow, that's about as dad as it gets.
Right?
And you can see the smile on your dad's face.
You
when
make
that's
something
going.
for him on the grill,
or at least you
happy.
can imagine it if your dad ever did smile. So I have a question here. What is the most dad thing you've done in the past year?
Despite not being dads?
Yeah, just because you're not a dad. We all have dad moments.
Well, I think you notice it if you spent time with your dad yesterday. You're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, so you guys got any good ones?
See, I don't know if I have any great ones. I mean, on Saturday, I weed eated the backyard. For me, that was pretty dadly of me to do.
It would have been if you had a fun time doing it.
Yeah. If I was like, when I came back in the house, I was like, oh my gosh, just got done weed eating.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe the job I did out there.
Come outside and look at it.
Yeah, come check this out. Look how different the yard looks when we do stuff like this.
You get the neighbors together.
Yeah,
Look at
exactly.
this. Look at this. Talk about the equipment you used.
Did that and then on Saturday also, I don't know if this is considered a dad thing, but just a friendly gesture, I guess. I was walking down the street like with some of my friends, and a woman like rolled down her window. She was driving a truck, and she was like, hey, can you like help me push my car? Because she's stuck in the middle of the road. She's completely out of gas. And my friends are not about it. They're like, no. And I'm like, come on, boys. Let's push this thing together. And so we pushed her down way too far.
Well, that's nice, though, because at first it feels like a scam, doesn't it?
Exactly.
You're like, are you going to steal my money?
Yeah,
come
that's
on,
what you
buckos.
didn't realize. They pickpocketed
Let's
you.
get behind this thing and start pushing.
Aw, look at that.
That is nice.
You led the group of people.
So I have a couple. One, I routinely wear cargo shorts. I wouldn't wear them to work.
Does your dad wear cargo shorts?
Oh, yeah.
Where are you wearing them? I feel like work would almost be better than like going out in public in them.
Well, yeah. Sometimes I don't want to come here and have mostly my legs exposed. That's kind of
Do you feel like it's unprofessional?
You have like weird calves or something?
Yeah, no, I just
gotcha.
don't want to. I mean, they're very hairy, but I don't want to expose that. But so that's one thing that I do, and I've accepted that that's just a dad deal. I also yesterday sitting outside, we're having a fire in my yard, and I commented to my wife, I go, those neighbors have been working on that fence for about 2 weeks.
You noticed.
Yeah, I was like, look at them. They're still working on that fence. Should probably go ask how it's going, see if they need any
check
help.
in.
Yeah, that felt like a big dad moment. I have a list of some good ones that people have chimed in with. This one makes me laugh. Took my kids to tour an old gold mine.
No,
No,
did your
the
dad do
bad.
that?
I've never toured an old gold mine, but actually, I guess this is daddy of me because I would totally.
You could totally
that kind of
do that.
sounds fun, actually. Somebody fixed the roof of their car with duct tape.
Nice.
I don't know if that's dad. That's I mean,
anybody.
it's resourceful. They set a phone reminder to change the air filter in their house.
That's a good one.
That's right along your weeding outside.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
gotta do it.
I don't think we're listing these things off. Being a dad doesn't sound so bad, does it?
Well, it was nice to spend time with dads yesterday.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys did something nice. And if you're like, that was yesterday, then you weren't being good to your dad.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
missed it.
That's all right. Your dad was too busy grilling by himself to
He didn't
even
want to.
notice. Yeah, he didn't even care.
And noticing what the neighbors were doing.
Yeah, that's right.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Speaking of relationships, Isaiah.
You're just leading him in like that.
You have the best lead-ins. I mean, I don't know if there's another guy in radio that leads in a segment like you do. So,
Professional, what can I say?
going off of that,
Maybe you could have said some of the biggest relationships we have is actually with our roommates.
that's a
and
good one.
Then you lead into Isaiah.
That was incredible.
Maybe Nikki should host the show.
Well, so
I'm just here for the fun.
my roommate Andrew and I ran into a little bit of a debacle yesterday, as recently we have gotten into watching our favorite show, which is currently Temptation Island.
Why are you guys watching that?
We love reality TV, and so going back, we're on season 3 right now. So well, at least I'm on season 3 right now, because yesterday for Father's Day I had left the house before Andrew had, because his cookout wasn't until a little bit later in the day, and so we ended up going home later on that night together, and he was like, "You're gonna be mad at me." While you were gone today, I finished the final 2 episodes, and I was like, "The final 2
of season 3?
of season 3
Of Temptation Island?
of Temptation Island," and we've watched the entire show,
So wait, are
the
you
entire
saying
show together.
He was tempted?
Yes, he was. He gave in to the
He
temptation.
gave into the last temptation.
He did, and I was utterly disappointed because we have watched every single episode together up until this point, and I was like, it would have been one thing if you watched like the second to last episode, and then I watched that one, but you watched the finale,
Or at least
the
told you.
final episode.
Yeah.
You watched, you clicked on that, and you were like, maybe I should wait for Isaiah. no, I'm going to watch it. And so now I'm going to have to watch it by myself.
That hurts.
That means that he's way more into it than you because he couldn't even wait.
He couldn't wait. And see, I wanted to watch it too. And this is what he said too yesterday. He goes, but I'll watch it again with you.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, no. I wanted to react together. I wanted to be able to see it together. And now the laughs aren't the same.
I actually, that's rough. And he actually did himself a disservice in some way. Because when you watch a show with somebody and you watch a lot of the show together, part of the fun, right, is talking about the show.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has watched the end of the show and he has to hold in his talking. He can't talk to you about it until you finish it. If I was you, I would get my revenge by
watching
holding
it solo? Or just not watching it at all?
Wait to watch it a long time so that he that'll actually
continue.
That will kill his interest in it.
No, I have
because
something
he won't
more
have anybody
petty.
to talk to with it.
You ready for this one?
Even more petty. Let's hear it.
Find a new friend. Invite them over to watch the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And
Watch
then
with them.
start talking to him like, oh, hey, he needs a place to live. He's looking for a roommate. And make your roommate feel like you're going to shove him out
So
and
you're
bring
out.
this new guy in.
All right, you're out. Yeah, the other thing too is like the commentary, like especially for the final episode. He didn't even get to hear my commentary on it for the laughs.
That's
It's
right.
It's just ridiculous.
Aw,
And
your
so
feelings are hurt.
I'm thoroughly upset today. I'm probably going to end up watching the final episodes sometime later today, but it will not be the same.
Ouch.
How many other seasons are there?
There is one more season after this,
Are you
but
gonna
like
watch
it's
that
like
with
they're
him?
all we'll end up watching it together. I will end up forgiving him, but at the same time because they're all like solo, like since it's a reality TV show, it's like a new season of The Bachelor. So like every single time it's the finale, like it's the finale of that season.
Are you
Temptation
sure that he
Island.
hasn't started the next season without you?
He probably is already 3 episodes
Yeah,
in
he
today.
probably
I mean, he
is,
works
3
from
episodes
home.
in.
We
Yeah.
know that he's watching it right now.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on YouTube TV and I think on
Okay.
Hulu as well.
Here's a question. If he had asked you ahead of time and said, hey, you're leaving for your thing, I'm going to have some time, how would you feel
Hard
about it?
no.
Hard no.
Hard no. I would have said, what do you mean? I would have been an immediate no. Immediate no.
He did make a good calculation in some way because he just went ahead and did it.
He
and
just
you
did
said
it
you're going to
without
forgive
asking.
him. So
Yeah, but
he
I mean,
gets
that's how
everything
it
he
goes.
wanted, except I'm sure he's realizing now he's got no one to talk to about it. And that's probably hurting him a little
That
bit.
is hard when you have a show that you're watching with someone, and if one person gets busy, the other, it's hard to finish it.
Which is why you should never start watching a show with somebody
There it
else.
is.
Do it all alone. Which also, when do you have enough
sad.
time alone to watch something?
Okay, fine. Don't watch anything
Just
at all.
don't watch
Don't watch
anything.
the shows. No shows.
Just never watch things.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
I have a video here that is it dividing the internet? I don't know. I haven't looked at the reaction. I'm just looking at the video itself, and I can see how it would be divisive. We've got a person on a 7-hour flight. We've got a woman who she's got the window seat.
Yeah.
Right. And so her alternative, apparently, according to the video, she has gotten up several times
Oh, to go
from
to the
her seat.
bathroom?
Yeah, for during the 7-hour flight. So in the video, to get back to the window seat, instead of saying "excuse me" and I don't know what you normally do, but she steps on the armrest that's on the aisle, hops over the 2 people, stretches her leg over the 2 people that
And
are
sits
sitting in the
down?
other 2 seats, and then kind of stands on the window seat and turns herself around and gets seated there. People are not acting too kindly to this, reacting too kindly. What do you guys think?
Well, first off, I say, do you see the leg room? There is none.
There's none.
Right.
What kind of flight is this?
I mean, this flight looks extra cramped compared to others. Maybe they're just taller. I don't know. What if the guys got really mad and the 3 of them kind of worked out? No, this works better because we're tired of getting up to let you out.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I actually don't think it's the worst.
It's not the
especially
worst.
if you have to get up. If she's doing this multiple times where she was getting up and going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I can definitely understand this because it's one thing at where I mean, you said it. Look at the leg room. She's not going to be able to squeeze through. So everybody
have
has
to get up.
Get up every single time. What if you're sleeping or something?
Well,
Just
how
let her
many
climb
times
over.
does she really go into the restroom? If you're taking the window seat and you go to the restroom more than one time on this flight, then you should not have the window
In
seat.
7 hours?
It doesn't
7
sound
no.
maybe twice. You get twice.
Do you know it's like your
Twice.
dog? You got to stop drinking water before you get on a plane
Yep.
at a certain point. So you can just not have to get up during the flight.
Yeah, man. I just.
One of the people have they have a toddler on their lap. Must be the middle person. So yeah, they have to. This lady has to completely go over all of them.
Over 3 people. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I mean, I don't think this is that bad. Especially, think about it. If you're at let's say you're at a sporting event, there's more open seats there for you to climb over. But you would never, like, if you have the option to kind of climb over to get to your seat that's in the middle at a baseball game versus making everybody in those seats stand up where they fold up so you can, like, squeeze by.
Yeah, you
can't
that
do
way.
that here. Everybody's got to completely stop what they're doing and get up. And so the internet has not been as kind. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I actually kind of think I wish more passengers would be like this.
Well, the one person said it's the most criminal activity I've ever seen on a plane, which means you have not been on many planes because there's way worse
Have
than
you
this.
ever been on the internet?
That's criminal activity. And second, her pants look super comfy. Is this
that's what I was thinking too.
pajamas? Or she's
She
wearing
gets some
pajamas?
PJs on, going over the top. I also feel like if she knows, like, I don't know what her relationship is with these people
Yeah.
either. So if she knows them, then there's absolutely no issue with this whatsoever. If she doesn't know them and she didn't get permission, that's different. But if she knows these people, this is nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Something you have to factor in, though, to play the other side of this. She's got to brace herself on both the head rest, the seat back of the people that she's climbing over,
Sure.
and the people in front. So it could be disturbing them in some way as well. Like, that could be something that people don't take kindly to.
Okay. If you watch the video, like, they're also just mad because she's wearing her socks. Second, do you see the toddler in the middle?
Yeah.
It looks like a little old man.
A little old man.
Look at his face.
Come on.
If you look at his face,
It does look like a little old man.
He just looks like super older, and I'm like, wait, is that a toddler? Or is that someone else?
See,
I don't know.
thought, I'm not joking with you, I thought that was just a man.
I thought it was.
I didn't realize that when you said they're holding a toddler, I didn't see the baby. I thought that was just the guy sitting in the middle seat.
He has a very mature face.
Oh my god!
How old is he? I can't even tell. I thought
he's
that
too
was
big to be sitting on somebody's lap.
I thought that he was just another man.
No.
I 100% did not think that. When you said there was a baby, I was like, where's this baby I think you keep on talking about?
That's him.
That's the baby.
Well, 7-hour
Sheesh.
flight. I think a lot of people are using the hashtag passenger shame with if she should be shamed or not.
I think we're going to have to start doing this next time. If somebody's sitting in the window seat and you're in one of the other 2 seats, they ask you to get up. You're like, up. Climb over, please.
Over the top, baby.
Let me show you a video. This is how it's done.
Just do this.
Better for everybody.
The Riot's X-rays just came in, and they all got that dog in them. Radio U.
I got a question for you guys. How do you do with Best Buy dates?
Best Buy dates?
Yeah, not like taking a date to Best Buy.
Okay, gotcha.
That would be weird.
One of my
Actually,
favorite
you know what?
dates, actually.
If she really likes technology, you'd be like, look at the specs on this subwoofer.
Can you imagine even if you weren't like, and you didn't buy her anything, or if you didn't buy him anything, and you just went to go browse?
Like it's a museum or something.
That would not be
Look
a
at the
date.
washers they got
Proposing that one, you're like, yeah, most people are like, you want to go to like dinner? Like, how about you think about like hitting Home Depot and then maybe Best Buy afterwards?
And sometimes they have the little hot dog stands outside. You're
yeah.
like, we'll just eat at one of those.
here. He goes, what are we doing after this? What? Best Buy dates. No, I mean, what do you... But how do you follow the dates? Are you pretty strict about that? When you see something in the cupboard, are you like, oh, this expired a week ago, throw it out? Or
I'm disappointed to say, and Isaiah, I don't know if you're like this, but usually you either know and you take care of it like you're done with it before it expires, or I'll let something go and just forget about it and it expired like years ago.
Oh, no.
And you're like, why is this can still in here?
do cans
Ooh.
expire?
Yeah, they do.
Then eventually, I guess.
They do.
I've seen videos of people that open them after years. Pretty interesting stuff.
Oh, to
Anyways,
still see what it's like inside?
yeah, a lot of
Ew.
them, you know what? That's what makes me question Best Buy dates sometimes. You see a can of beans from like 16 years ago, it looks like it'll still be fine.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean on like a chemical level or like a bacteria level.
It's sealed, right?
There could
In
still
a
be stuff
can?
that gets in.
That's part of
never know.
the point of canning, right? If something goes down.
Hey, mistakes happen. Okay. It's
So
a problem.
Do you follow the Best Buy dates? Or are you like Nikki?
I follow the Best Buy dates in certain scenarios. Like, I will get rid of things if they expire. But at the same time, like, I would rather look at it, smell test it. Like, I'm not going to just stop drinking the milk because it's expired. I'm going to give it the good old whiff first, maybe try a little bit of a sip of it to see if I can still make it work.
I like that.
Also, same thing with bread, too. Like, bread, it's
Well, you
not
can tell if it's
expired
moldy.
unless it's moldy. Like, there's bread right now that's in our cabinet that's expired, but there's no mold on it, so it's not expired. I'm going to eat it today.
I tell you every time, Isaiah, the radio can't see your air quotes.
What do you mean? I said it. I said the air quotes, too. I said expired.
You can hear the air
expired.
quotes.
See, that's air quotes.
Say expired normally.
expired. Expired. That's air quotes.
You can tell, actually.
You can hear the
definitely
tone
tell.
difference with it. We still have breads in some cabinet up there?
It's my bread.
Is
I
it-
let him have it because it's expired.
Well, why you put it in the fridge? It lasts longer.
No, bread doesn't go in the
Why
fridge.
don't you take a picture?
But
It'll last longer.
Oh my god!
Have a picture of the bread.
What are we? What
is
are we
this?
doing here?
You're right. Let's be mature.
I was
That's
supposed
where
to
you
bring
can
in bread
freeze
today.
it. Yeah.
I forgot again, so.
well,
Are you
you
gonna go
can
use
still
the-
have my bread.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I need to make that toast.
You're so generous if you
Giving him
share your expired
bread. It's
items.
about what he deserves.
Yeah, I'd say so. But yes, bread is it'll go till it's green.
What do you guys do with like leftovers though? Because that's tough, right?
Tough to tell.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, usually
I've
you
got-
could just look it up because they usually have like a chart that shows
chart?
you know, like how long can your leftovers go?
Because I've got chicken in there. It's close to a week old. I
Did
was
you make
thinking
the
of-
chicken?
It was so it was a rotisserie chicken.
Rotisserie?
Rotisserie chicken.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
It's the way you say it.
Brah?
I've heard it both ways.
No,
Who is this? What?
Rotisserie chicken in the I've been
Why
keeping it's
say
sealed.
that?
It's in a sealed thing.
Yeah.
I cooked it the first time and it's been sitting there for a week and finally I am low enough on other groceries that I think I might have it for lunch today. You think it's still good?
Yeah, you're good.
Still
well,
good? A week?
hang on though. I was going to say I looked up rotisserie chicken once. I think it's like 3 to 5 days.
How many
we're
days are
pushing
we
it.
at?
We're pushing it. I don't know exactly.
That's when I think you should.
think-
What do you mean you don't know
6.
exactly?
I think 6.
Well, then you're good then.
Well, how do you tell though?
Because it says 3 to 5 days, but it really means like 8.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
good.
gosh!
All right.
Why don't you just make a rotisserie chicken sandwich on the bread that's expired and roll the dice?
Yeah, just give it a
okay?
little smell test. You'll be fine.
Whatever makes me sick, and we'll be able to trace it back.
You'll be fine, and I won't see you tomorrow. So you can have the day off if you're really, really sick.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
You know, they say an elephant never forgets.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out they're not the only ones. Neither do bats.
Bats.
Bats. We have a new study here published in Cell Biology about frog-eating bats with some just wonderful pictures. Look at that one.
Why are they showing the picture of the frog just hanging out of the bat's mouth?
That's how they eat them.
Well, that's a interesting looking frog, isn't it?
It's,
Is its
well,
head gone?
Yeah, it's
I
had
think
some.
it's gone.
It's had some work done by the bat's mouth. So we had researchers that were from, believe it or not, the Ohio State University,
Hey.
where they caught 49 frog-eating bats, and were testing out how long bats remember sounds.
Yeah.
And so what they did was they started playing the sounds that the frogs that the bats would eat, the sounds that those frogs would make. And when the bats got to it, they were rewarded with food. But then they would gradually, like, over time, change the sound until eventually it was not a frog mating call at all. It was a ringtone.
Okay.
And so the bats still knew when that ringtone came along, they would go and get the food if they found it or whatever.
So they can remember sounds like that?
Yeah. And so that was several years ago. Now they've found that even 4 years later, they've like recaptured the same bats out in the wild and played the ringtone for them again. They still come and go, expecting food, expecting the reward that they were going to get food. because they still remember the ringtone that they heard 4 years ago.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy that bats can hold on to that for so long?
You know what this feels like,
What's
right?
that? What's it feel like?
This is a horror movie. Can you imagine you're just with a group of campers?
Uh-huh.
You have the same ringtone. These bats are all back in the wild. So then they hear your
Somebody
ringtone.
gets a phone call.
The bats come and they eat you.
Yeah, all of a sudden the bats flying into your face. Ah!
And then the whole movie, you can't answer any phone calls or anything, or you can't call out. You can't have any rings.
Yeah, that's right. You're completely cut off from the. You have to turn off your phone.
It's called Ring.
Yes, that's right. This it's genius.
It is.
I love the idea, and it does sound like a horror movie. So I don't know what they're gonna do with the bats or what the ringtone was. So safe to say, you probably just want to turn your phone on vibrate just to be safe, because you never know where these bats could be lurking, and they could be hungry. They could be
think you're
bloodthirsty. Think they're going to get a nice tasty snack anytime you hear your phone going off.
They say 4 years is a long time to hold on to the reminder of a sound that you might not actually ever hear again.
Yeah.
But for them, bats can totally do that.
Yeah, I mean, for humans, we're used to that, right?
I think we hear a lot more. Yeah.
You hear somebody say, I love you. You might not hear it for a long time. You got to hold on to it.
That's what you pick?
Yeah. What? That could be
I thought you were going to say
a valid experience.
They say I love you, and then you never hear it again.
Yeah, you might not hear for a long time. So that's why it's important to hold on to memories like that, because otherwise you could get really upset, but you hear it once.
You finally hear
and you can go back to it. You can go back to it. Yeah, and then you remember. It brings back a flood of memories.
Wow. Yes, I guess it does.
Who knew where this story would go? Where this story would lead us?
Bats in love.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, with you going camping for your vacations this summer, that means you are missing out on the best part, one of the best parts of going on vacation. That is getting to sleep in a hotel.
You know, I enjoy hotels.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I feel like the travel experience the last several years has gone downhill.
Sure.
So whether it be plane or hotel, it's all so expensive.
It is.
And you don't get the comfort like you maybe did before or anything whatsoever.
Sometimes you just don't know what to expect. But I have to say, there is something that just hits different about sleeping in a hotel.
Is it the bed, or is it just because you don't have to take care of anything else?
It's funny that you asked that, Nikki, because I have here a survey that tells you exactly what it is. This was actually done by Mattress Firm, which I guess it's an odd thing that they're asking people what they like about hotel beds. But they found in this survey of 2,000 people, 43% of people said that the best part, the reason that it's so great sleeping in a hotel, is because of the fresh sheet smell. Don't mishear that. Fresh sheet, I said. Fresh
the sheets
sheet
like on
smell.
the bed?
Yeah.
That's
that they're nice and clean.
No.
That's what the people said?
No, because every place you go to now, they always do that trick where you're leaving like things in the bed to see if they're washing it after.
Yeah, right? I don't believe it. I don't believe that. Maybe they're spraying the bed with Febreze if you're lucky.
That makes more sense.
But I don't believe that they are cleaning the sheets every time, every night between people who stay.
Why don't we reverse this, though? Maybe our house sheets are so bad.
Yeah. Yes, you could be right. It doesn't take a lot. The hotel does not need to clean the sheets very often for them to be cleaner than the ones at my house.
So that's
especially with all our
why.
pets and stuff. You're 100% right about that. But that was the top answer, that people like sleeping in a hotel because of the fresh smell of the sheets. 43% of people said that. But a very close second, 41% said that the mattress is what they love about sleeping at a hotel. You got to give most hotels credit. Their mattresses usually are pretty nice.
I've been to a few where they say, hey, like this mattress, you too can buy it.
Yeah,
like you can have it.
From Mattress Firm.
That's probably why. 39% saying be able to sleep in. So just the vacation side of it, they enjoy the most.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about I've never taken note of sometimes you can, like the hotel itself has a smell, but I've never taken note of the sheets. But I just like that you walk in there, normally if you have a decent hotel, it's just clean. And you don't have to worry about much, and you can sleep in most of the time. It's just the vibe of it, just the whole relaxation feeling. It's not much about the hotel itself, actually.
But
sorry, I know you'd
room.
love to take credit for it, Comfort Inn, but no, it's just that I'm away from my regular life and responsibilities.
Well, they
Makes
say
it so
that
much more relaxing.
73% of people say they anticipate better sleep while actually traveling. I think because you're so exhausted trying to get ready to travel.
Yes.
You're so stressed that when you actually get there,
It's worn you out.
anything
You just fall
smells
into
or
bed.
feels better.
Yeah, that definitely could be it. Either way, though, you know what? Makes vacation feel pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it feel pretty nice. And you're skipping that because you want to stay in a camper.
Nope. I brought my own bed. I got a mattress topper for it because the other one wasn't
Not good enough?
soft enough.
Yeah.
I'm very delicate. I bruise easily.
Just make sure you keep the sheets clean.
The words too expensive aren't in Nikki's vocabulary. This is The Riot. Radio U.
Did you see the big announcement from Amazon earlier this week? It was actually back on Wednesday.
Amazon had a big announcement.
Yeah. Did you see? It's at their Mars conference in Las Vegas, where they showed off a new ability for your Amazon, anything, I guess, Alexa enabled.
Yeah.
Your Echoes and all that. They can now have the ability to speak in the voice of dead people.
Well, hang on there.
What is that a problem for you for some reason?
like a relative who passed away or something?
100%. That
Well,
is
how do they know their voice?
demonstration they used. Now, Nikki, isn't that a good question?
I mean, have they been listening this whole time?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
How do you know the voice?
I believe that is probably how they do it. I don't know if they laid that out, but they showed off at the conference.
And they're calling this all Black Mirror if you watch the show.
Oh yeah, there's an episode that is a very similar thing where a woman has a boyfriend die and just manages to bring him back with technology, and that's pretty much what's going on right here. Of course, they show it in a very innocent way, not Black Mirror. Amazon shows it in a very innocent way where it is a child and it's a bedtime story read by his dead grandmother. Who could have a problem with that? It's just a little child that's
you hear their grandmother.
It's helping the child cope. Why would you be upset about that?
Oh, I don't know.
What, do you hate children or something?
Well, it's different, like I have like voicemails from people who have passed away. So like you keep sometimes a reminder of what their voice was, but I mean,
that's real though.
I don't have them reading me bedtime stories.
Yeah, that they never actually read, or
in the first place.
that you didn't actually record. It feels, obviously there's the Black Mirror aspect of it where it could be a sinister way of going, take a very sinister turn, or it can just be a thing of it just makes it harder for us to let go, and it could actually cause some real mental health issues. But hey. Who are we to question Amazon?
I guess
if
we'll
anybody knows about mental health, it's Amazon.
I see what you're saying.
I trust them.
I might start off with, like the Build-A-Bear where it has the little voice inside of it.
Just the one recording.
That one's kind of helpful and good and healing. But for the voice completely talking to you from your Alexa device, I am not 100% sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to keep the memory alive, but that it actually has to be a memory, like something they actually did.
Yeah.
Where in this case, it is absolutely not. If you are curious about how they do it, they say all they need is literally 1 minute of recorded speech from the person in question.
And they can
and
come
then
up
they
with
just
everything?
use that to alter the voice that is like the voice, I guess, that they already have that's closest to what the voice you're trying to accomplish sounds like. And they just alter it slightly, like the technology alters it slightly and turns it into the voice that you are that you're searching for. But I wonder too, do you think this could be an issue of what about if you use it for people that are still alive? Make them say stuff they never said.
Yeah, okay, that's also a good point.
They obviously could do that.
Well, okay, so there's some problems.
Yeah.
They have to work it out.
Look at the positives.
What's that?
Come back to me on that one.
Okay, you know what? You got time to think about it.
Why don't you ask Amazon?
Okay. Alexa, what's the problem?
Yeah. What's the positives, Alexa?
You tell us when you come up
Tell
with
us in a dead relative's voice, please.
Oh, it does feel a bit unhealthy.
It hurts. It hurts a little bit to even think about.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.